guys, welcome back to my channel. And if you don't know me, my name is Giancarlo or JC, whatever you prefer. But today, as you can tell by the title and thumbnail, I'm doing a little mukbang, but with some confession stories that I have. I'll have the link down below if you want to just put in here. Also, my bio, in my bio and all my social medias, I'll have my social medias like right here, wherever you want to follow. And yeah, and also some Reddit stories, because since I'm barely beginning, I'm trying to like have some like content for y'all. But today's food is, I don't know if you already can tell, we have Taco Bell, because it's really good. We have a little Dr. Pepper, a large one, and 2 burritos, a beefy 5-layer burrito, and the grilled cheese. And because I have nothing better to do on my Sunday evening, because today is currently 6:45 as I'm filming this. But yeah, let's get started. Let me take the first bite. We're taking this one first. Yeah. Put this to the side. Yeah. I am not swinging my way because can't be called an enormous fat glutton again. Okay. Oh. It's okay because we got napkins. Okay, the first one says, I cheated on my boyfriend with a girl I met on vacation because she was my gay awakening, and I miss her so much. Our parents found out and made me cut all contact with her, but I'm still with my boyfriend because they said if I broke up with him because I was gay, they would kick me out. And me too, Tim. Right, let's say about that sucks. Like, I don't know what I would tell you. Like, I guess your parents don't really like people being gay, but it's okay. It's okay. We're chilling here. You're accepted in this family, you know, my family, like, they don't care. Okay? Okay, next one. When the 10th graders come back to the class next door, they are hella musty. If I need a fart, I do, and blame it on their must. You know what? I can relate. Because there was this couple in my school. They smelled really bad. It was so bad you can literally smell them like a mile away. And everyone, and like, if you know who you are, if you know who they are, like, if you know, then you know. Okay, because I'm not gonna go deep further into that. Okay, let's get next bite. Have a bite. Okay. I went on a date with a boy and I paid for the movie tickets. It was an R-rated movie. And he's younger, so he couldn't buy the ticket. And I wasn't really tripping about it because it wasn't that expensive and I got the bug girl money, so it wasn't chill. After the movie, he's like, we need to hang out more. This was so fun. So much fun. He had been flirting with me, and then all of a sudden last night he texted me. I feel like we've been talking for a really long time, but I am not in the right mind to get into any relationship. So let me know if that is what you are looking for so I back away. I don't want to lead you on or anything. I hate doing that. Yet, he was literally holding my hand during the movie and everything. Chat, I would have cussed the person out because why are you putting me in this situation personally? Like, now I know why it's spilling. Guys, my Coke spilled all over me and on my bed. But see, that's besides the point. I don't know if it's me. I feel like there's something. Like, I think there's, oh, that's just the screen. On mine. My thing is, why fully agree to the date if you didn't want to? For the boy to do that, like, why even agree to the date? Because you basically did later on, and even if you did say, like, I don't want to feel you let on, but like, if you knew you weren't in the right mindset, why even like consider going on that date to go to the movies? And then because it says like he was literally holding my hand during the movie and everything, you're kind of weird for that, because not only were you trying to do like lovey-dovey stuff at the movies, that's weird. Well, what you can expect, that's at movies, but other than that, you basically led this person on. See, if I was in a girl's shoes, I would have. To be honest, I'm like, honestly, there's nothing you can really do in this situation because then like there really are people out here that if that will basically lead you on and everything, and they like at first they're all about like, hey, like oh, you're cool and stuff, and da da da. You start hanging out for a 5 minute, and then basically like y'all develop feelings for each other. But then somewhere in the middle while you're talking, you randomly get this random or like, guys, trust. I'm not in in that right mindset. Then what was the whole point of it? Like, did you basically waste their time? Because I know they would not appreciate that. So, girl, I say you can do a lot better, but like I mean, it's definitely not gonna get better. Well, it can get better, but I don't think that you're never gonna experience this again because for sure you might experience like another situation like that. Because I for one have dealt with something like that where they were like, I'm not in the right mindset, like this and that, and that genuinely pissed me off. Then why even like fully commit to it after being together for like 3 months? But that's on me. Okay. The next one says, I fart quietly and smell them. Well, you wasted a confession with that. Okay. Well, I guess you're weird then, because who smells your like why smell your own fart? Like you're weird. Like yeah, you're gonna smell your own must, but like I didn't need to know that. And yeah, you wasted my time. Anyways, time to go to Reddit, guys. Okay, time to go to Reddit. Okay, here's this next one. This is the first one from the Reddit confessions. Okay, I completely lost it on a kid at the public pool. I completely lost it on a kid at the public pool. Um, babes, I don't know what to tell you. Like we're just starting off wrong. Okay, let's read. So yeah, like the title says, there was a kid at the pool, I'd say 12 to 13 years old, who had a water gun. My oldest son is autistic and has trouble speaking. He just kind of walks around the pool. This kid with the water gun started spraying him in the face. My son was trying to get away, covering his face, and clearly didn't like it. I asked my son if he wanted to stop, and the kid heard me ask. He said to me, he never told me to stop, so I didn't know. I tried to explain that when someone is covering their face and walking away from you, you can take that to mean they don't like it and that you should stop. The kid kept arguing with me. He kept saying over and over that he didn't know because my son didn't tell him to stop. I got into the pool at this point and said it to the kid again. I was angry at this point as well. The kid kind of buckled up to me and showed absolutely no fear or remorse. I repeated it against him and explained that when you're in a public pool, you have to be mindful of other people. Excuse me. He rolled his eyes, yelled at me that it wasn't his fault, and at this point, I was actually over the edge, and I told the kid to fuck off. He said, "You're a grown woman acting like this." I felt the sting, knew he was right, and doubled down with, "I can't wait to see how you turn out when you're grown up." We left the pool after this. I do feel bad for what I said. Not terrible, but a little bit of shame. Now that I'm writing it out, I see how stupid it really was. Very a lot to process. But I say you're not really in the wrong. Like, the first part where you lost it on a kid, well, you're at a public pool. Like, no offense, but you're you're most definitely gonna get lose your cool. But now hearing the story, I feel like you're not in the wrong. You're just defending your child because like special needs kids, they like not to be rude, but like they do like need the extra attention, and for for the like kids to still be spraying him in the face is completely outrageous. Like I do feel for that for the mom in this story. I do feel for you, but like to be honest, I feel like I would have just taken my child. Like no, like no shade to the mom, but I would have felt like I should have just taken the child to a different location, and like, or like move to a different part of the pool. So like even after the first time, like I wouldn't completely lose on the kid. Cause mind you, you don't want to look stupid in front of like teenagers because I'm pretty sure they're about like teenage years, and you don't want, and then you don't look bad because then you paint that image of yourself looking like, oh my gosh, guys, like she's like the bad mom. But that's besides the point. And these are what some of the comments had to say. You were looking out for your son against the pool. A total 13 is plenty old enough to know how much of an asshole you're being, if maybe not old enough yet to care. But that kid, not you, is the one who should feel ashamed of his behavior, in my opinion. Also, the kid's parents report his ass to the lifeguard. I'd be furious. There's that. Um, so yeah, I don't think the mom is completely in the wrong, but I feel like I would have just taken the kid to a different part of the pool, in my opinion. Okay, so I finished the first burrito off camera. I already unwrapped this, but this is a grilled cheese burrito. But yeah, this is the next one. Okay, when our mother passes, I've decided to no longer speak to my brother. He was physically and mentally abusive to me growing up. My father didn't know how to deal with him, and my mother coddled him because he almost died when we were young. We are well into our adulthood now, and anytime I have to see him, he makes sure to make it an uncomfortable situation for me. He gets great pleasure out of it. Right now, our lives are more closely connected because of our mother's failing health, because he also has an inability to manage his stress in healthy ways. He calls and then finds ways to lash out, trying to make sure I will be as miserable as him throughout the process. I've made the choice that our mom passes, I will cease contact with him. Doing so while our mom is alive would break her heart and be an undue hardship. And girl, I don't blame you because if you're actually gonna sit there physically abusive and because like you're not because yeah because like if it was me in your situation I would not tolerate that because if it's just that one specific person keeping us together and because they have like medical problems like yeah like even if like if god forbid your mother did die like I would cut off contact because I would not put up with such BS like that you just said but yeah because like after years and that just doesn't like seem right with me or like sit right. Okay, let's take the first bite of this. You first. Okay. AITA for refusing to switch hospital rooms after another patient complained about me. I'm I'm 18 female and had to stay in the hospital for a few days due to complications, though not life threatening. I was sharing a hospital room with a woman in her 40s or 50s. It started off fine between us, but after the first day, she started making comments about me being on my phone the majority of the time and looking too healthy for a hospital visit. When my friend came to visit me, I shared some quiet conversation with him and laughed a little while he was visiting to make me feel better. After he left, my roommate started yelling at me and about how disrespectful I was to others and how younger people have no manners these days. I apologized for her I apologized for her saying I was disrespectful since may have been loud with my friend, but she insisted on my being loud with my phone in the hospital while I was on the phone with my family, who were worried about me. Later that night, a nurse came into my room and asked if I was willing to switch rooms with her since she complained multiple times about me to the hospital staff. I said that I was fine in my room. My stuff was all here and I didn't do anything wrong in the hospital other than having one visitor while on my phone. She then stated that it would keep the peace between us in the hospital. I refused to move rooms. My roommate got upset at me for refusing to move rooms and started to cry. My mom says I should have just switched rooms instead of dealing with my roommate's drama. My friends think my roommate was being rude to me from the start. Am I the am I the jerk? Personally, you are not the jerk for wanting to switch rooms, but from the very start, if you're going to be like complaining about what I do, like I would have switched rooms automatically, because if you're the type of person to just start complaining about random things, I'm not gonna sit with you, because like let me be, like worry about your own problems. Like you're here for a reason. Like your clock is ticking. Mine still has like my time has a lot more than what you have left. I'm barely 18. I'm barely 17, and for like someone as well as that complaining, like bro, like to be honest, I feel like that woman just really needs to get a life. If she wanted to so badly, why not her switch the rooms? Because if she was complaining about that, why not complain to the hospital staff, like, can I get another room, instead of asking, asking her to be switched? Cause to me that would have set me off. To be honest, I mean completely honest. Okay, this is the next one. Am I the jerk for refusing to sign off on 4 volunteer hours for a team who was only there for less than an hour? From the start, you're not the jerk. To be honest. Okay, we had a community cleanup in our neighborhood on last Saturday near the park. Nothing major, just picking up trash, etc., etc. I was helping there as a, I was helping there out as a volunteer. A lot of teens came to earn volunteer hours for school. Rule is simple. You show up, sign in, do the work, and at the end I sign a sheet with actual time. One guy showed up with his mom around 9:15. Clean started at 9. He signed in, grabbed gloves and a trash bag, took a couple of photos by the supply table, and headed toward the trail. About 20 minutes later, I noticed he wasn't in any of the groups. I didn't go looking for him because I am not a babysitter. Just thought maybe he was with another team, but all the groups were handing their bags to me, and I didn't see him again. Around 12:30, when we were already wrapping up, he showed up again with an iced coffee in his hand. His mom came up to me with a school form and asked me to sign for 4 hours. I told her I couldn't. According to what I saw, he was there for less than an hour. I agreed to sign for 45 minutes or 1 hour maximum, but not 4. She immediately got tense and said he was around, quote unquote, around, and helping somewhere further down the trail. I said that if one of the team leads confirmed it, I'd sign for more, but I couldn't do it without that. She lowered her voice and said he needed those hours for a school requirement, otherwise he'd be in trouble. I said it felt strange to me to send for something that didn't happen. Guy stood there silently, didn't say anything, and was staring at his phone. After his mom said I was humiliating him in public, though there were almost no people, I replied that I wasn't calling him lazy or anything like that. I just wouldn't sign for 4 hours if he hadn't actually worked them. I ended up signing 1 hour and seeing him and his mom angrily leaving the park. Now, I'm not sure about my decision and even feel myself a bit cruel, but it seems to me that volunteer hours will lose their meaning if all would show up, take a picture, and ask parents to ask others to sign the paper. Am I the jerk? No, you're not. Because to me, I would be upset if, like, say, like, it's like basically like school. Like, I would not want to be sharing credit for someone who didn't do anything, because like I've had my fair share of people like that. Like, you do all the work while the other person doesn't. That would just set me off. And another thing, like, why should you? You should not be responsible. Like the kid should be responsible for his own hours that he needs for his school. Like, if he knew about that, why not just stay? Because to me, it would be totally unfair to be claiming that you worked these certain hours but you didn't actually work them. Like, that would, like, that's even like if you were working a job, you cannot like just show up, clock in, leave for like your entire shift, and then come back to clock out. Like, that's not how it works. You actually have to be there to work and earn the money that you need. Because, like, I know, like, managers aren't gonna like be paying you for days that you missed, even though you were actually there. Like, that's not how it works. That's just life, to be honest. And like, that's just life. Okay, this might be my last one. I'm gonna do two more. Yeah, I'm gonna do two more. But now we're under the petty revenge subcategory. Okay. And this is going to be a long story, so be ready for it. So this is one and there's one more, okay? Okay. Unhinged landlord gets a taste of his own medicine. Let me start by setting the stage on who this guy was. We had a landlord who lived 2 houses down from us years ago who was a monster. First day we moved in, we ordered pizza for dinner that night. A few minutes after the delivery guy left, our landlord came in through the back door, set his gun on our counter, and said he wanted to check because he saw a guy walk up to the house. Mind you, I had a kid with autism in the same house. So he was so nosy and didn't like us because we didn't do what he said as far as the house. He wanted us to clean the pool a specific way, certain plants he didn't like, water on certain days, trying to put a curfew on us when to have visitors, etc. He was older, so we tried to accommodate him as best as we could to be nice, but it just kept getting more and more demands. He would just walk in the house whenever he wanted and hated our dog. To be fair, she hated him more. He would walk his tiny little Yorkie over by our fence and torment our boxer. It was horrible. So we had an issue with our power and the company couldn't come for a few days because of a holiday weekend. So we had a generator going. This was summer in southern Alabama, so we had the generator going on 24/7. He called the police a few times in those couple days to complain about the noise. One cop told us he was nuts because it wasn't loud unless you were right by it, suggesting building a box around it so the guy would stop, and so my husband just did just that. After a few calls, and not one time we were told to do anything other than ignore him, the final time the cops all showed up with their captain of an entire unit. He came and looked at the generator and looked at his deputies and said, "Are you freaking kidding me? You can barely hear it 10 feet away. What is this guy's problem?" He apologized to us and told us he was going to put a stop to this right now. Then they all went over to the landlord's house. We never had him call the cops on us again, and we moved out a few months later. LOL. It was wild. This guy would walk his dog by our house and just stop and stare at the place for hours. He even felt one standing out there. After we moved, he would call and harass us weekly. Okay, now that's just being petty. We aren't gonna call the cop. We aren't the cop calling type of folks. So it got to the point where I was done. We put a few fake ads out on social media sites that were popular there. Things like great condition generator at a steal of a price. We would get a million people wanting it, so we gave his address to them, and would also say we worked odd hours, so come after 10 p.m. and knock really loud because I was hard of hearing. We listed his car for sale and told people to come late and knock really loud. We put a few personal ads out as well with his phone number. We weren't around to see any of this, but the calls started to get even more. I would get drunken rants from him until my voicemail got cut him off, calling me every name in the book. He would threaten to hunt me down and shoot me. The voicemails got to be even funnier than the act itself. They were the highlight of my day there for a while. This continued for quite some time. We'd update the ads and just put all the info in the listing and forget about it. Don't know what had ever happened to the old jerk, but he was the meanest man I'd ever met. And you clocked his shit because ain't no way, because a landlord isn't supposed to do that. Like, even if it's their property, he gave you basically have tenant rights to be there, and it's it's like you're like a landlord isn't supposed to do that, to be walking in and to be complaining over the most random things, and for the cops to actually do that, like, good for the cops, because like good on them, because ain't no way those cops were gonna deal with him anymore, all because they're complaining over a stupid generator. Like, what did the generator do to you, to be honest? Like what about a generator bothers you so freaking much? Like jeez Louise, because like ain't no way you're mad over a dog. First off, you're mad over a generator because conditioning couldn't be fixed, and in a place where it's like, I feel like would be known for it to be hot. No thank you. I'd rather have cold air blowing in the summer in my own house. Like, I would not be putting up with this sort of thing. And good on the landlord. Okay. One more, guys. Okay, this is the last one, and that's it. I got revenge with orange juice. Before I begin, I know a lot of people have strong feelings about tipping culture in the USA. While this story relates to tipping, that isn't the point of the story or the reason I felt like I needed to get revenge. With that in mind, okay, okay. Back in 2011 or so, I was working at a local restaurant in my hometown. It was the only Greek restaurant in town, and it was a small but popular place. We had a lot of repeat customers and often were quite busy, even on normal weeknights. It's worth noting that this is not an affluent town, not an affluent town. I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna put the definition right here because you must know. Because if I don't know, you must know too. Um, affluent town. One such regular customer was the Thompson family. I had no idea what their names are. Mom, dad, three kids, probably under 10 years old. Mom and the kids were always fine, but man, the dad in the family was so rude from day one. They came in 1 to 2 times per week, and every time the guy used to bark at me and the other servers from across the room about everything, leave huge messes, and worst of all, these kids slurp down 3 to 5 sodas each during their visits. While this in itself isn't a big deal, every time one of the kids finished their drink, which was every couple of minutes, the dad would yell at us across the room, "More soda!" Would yell, "More soda!" It sounds ridiculous, but this guy was ridiculous. It didn't help. It didn't help that the guy also never left a tip. Eventually, the owner started offering breakfast on the weekends, which turned out to be quite popular. One morning, the Thompsons rolled in during the middle of the morning rush. Not these guys again. As they sat down, the intrusive thoughts won. Before they could order their sodas, I said, "Hey gang, who wants orange juice?" The orange juices were $3 each and didn't have free refills, as stated on the menu. Everyone got orange juice. Per usual, every few minutes he'd shout, "More juice, more syrup, more napkins." We had to go to the grocery store across the plaza because he drank so much juice. Each time I added another juice to the ticket. Eventually, when it was time for them to go, I looked at the ticket and saw they had consumed 13 juices between them. There was an item on the bill for $39 just for the juice. Adjusted for inflation, this is about $57. I placed the bill on the table and left the area, not knowing what this person was capable of aside from yelling and being rude. I peeked around the corner and saw him looking at the bill, then the menu about the juice, then back at the bill. Eventually, they paid the lift. They paid the bill and left. No tip, obviously. Never saw them again after that. Hope they're doing okay. And good for you, because I know damn well you should not be dealing with customers like that. Because if you're gonna be here barking at like servers, then what makes you think that they're not gonna, because servers, they remember that type of stuff. Like they know, like, oh, this, like, these people are, they're like so rude, or like this family, they tip super well. Like, you know, because like, trust me, I know. Like, I've heard, like, even on TikTok you be hearing stories like sometimes these people, they remember, like they can hold grudges. Like they know, like who's the richest person in town, like who is actually like the most generous and who's the most hated, like, to be honest. So good for that waiter, server, whatever role she was in that restaurant. Good for her for getting that little petty revenge with orange juice. Like, at first I didn't like, okay, how'd you get revenge with orange juice? But not hearing that story, it's like, yeah, you really deserve that get back, because ain't no way you're gonna, this man, grown ass man by the way, bark at service people, because mind you, these people, they're handling your food. Like, you don't know what, like, behind closed doors, you don't know what they could be doing to your food, to be honest. Like, regardless, you should never be rude to service workers. And I don't really mind tipping culture. Like, if your service is really, really great, I'm gonna tip you really, really great. Like, other than that, I really have nothing much to say, but congratulations, you got your get back. And that's it. Well, I'm gonna finish that and my Dr. Pepper off camera. But thanks so much for watching. I hope you like this video as much as I did making it. I'm gonna attach all my social medias again right here, and even down the link in the bio, or just in my intro and outro. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this. Smash that like button, subscribe, leave a comment, push that notification bell, and everything, whatever YouTubers say. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.